I don't care how good they is right now. It's a whole different ball game, bro. With somebody holding on your shorts the whole way to the basket.
Legal. And it's legal.
Come on, man.
When you run through the paint and you can get bumped, it's different. And that's my argument with people. It's like, it ain't no disrespect to anybody because they're all great. And you're going to argue back and forth and everybody's going to have their opinion. But I'm saying, which rules are we using?
LeBron James went to 8 straight finals and 10 total overall. And on the surface, that sounds like pure, untouchable dominance. It looks clean. It looks historic. It looks like the kind of stat you're not supposed to question. But then Vince Carter steps in and rips the curtain off the whole thing by calling it fake dominance. And before you roll your eyes and assume this is just another hot take chasing attention, slow down, because Carter didn't come emotional. He came surgical. He came with numbers, timelines, and context that most fans conveniently ignore. This wasn't about disrespect or clout. This was about whether the story you've been sold about LeBron's finals run actually holds up when you stop worshiping the headline and start reading the fine print. And the real test is whether you're willing to hear something that makes you uncomfortable.
we got the
What's up, Tar Heel?
VC, what's up, my dog? Right. You know, all right?
Everything. Yeah, man, I'm good. You know.
Carolina soccer girls team.
Yeah,
shout out
man.
to them. Get another natty.
Shout out to the soccer team. Yes,
number
sir.
22 for the women's soccer team.
Oh, okay.
Running them up.
Okay. Don't just say it like that. Just don't say it like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I mean, wow, that's life-changing. I'll go home and write about it. Thank you.
How about the Florida Gators, number 9th in the country in Florida in men's basketball?
Early 2025, Carter sits down for what everyone thinks will be a quiet, safe retirement interview. No drama, no headlines, just vibes. Then LeBron's legacy comes up, and instead of giving the usual respect-filled, media-approved answer, Carter decides to tell the truth. He starts calm, almost polite. I respect LeBron, he says. And then he pauses. And that pause changes everything. But we've got to be honest about what we're calling dominance. You can feel the air leave the room. Carter points straight at the Eastern Conference from 2011 to 2018 and says that wasn't a gauntlet. It was a fast lane with nobody in the way. No traffic. No real resistance. The interviewer freezes like he knows this isn't supposed to be said out loud. And Carter keeps going because once you open that door, there's no closing it.
Well said. That's well said. And that's what I said, because you're going to always ruffle feathers. If you're a diehard Bron fan, you think it's disrespect when you say otherwise about him, Cole, and Mike. So that's just, it's going to be an ongoing battle because unless they ever played against each other. Just imagine them playing against each other.
Whew. So for the record, you got MJ, Kobe, and then LeBron?
Yeah.
Can LeBron, in your opinion, with LeBron's maybe 2-3 years left, maybe 4, does he have an opportunity in your mind to possibly jump Kobe?
He has an opportunity.
Carter leans forward and says the quiet part even louder. LeBron's road to those finals wasn't just favorable, it was historically easy compared to other all-time great runs. And that's when everything explodes. Within hours, the clip is everywhere. Timelines are melting down. Comment sections turn into battlegrounds. LeBron fans are furious, critics feel vindicated, and the league is suddenly uncomfortable. But here's the part nobody expected. Behind the scenes, other former players start whispering the same thing. They agree with Carter, they just don't want the backlash. And this is where the conversation gets real, because Vince Carter didn't come empty-handed. The facts are clear. 8 straight finals from 2011 to 2018 is unprecedented. Nobody's denying that. But the real question is this. When you actually break down who LeBron had to go through in that East year after year, was it dominance or was it opportunity? That's where the debate really starts. So drop your take in the comments, because this one isn't going away.
I want to get your take on LeBron, because you've played against him since he was a young pup. What's the biggest difference of him then and now in terms of how he just keeps getting better?
Dedication. He has goals in mind, what he wants to accomplish, and it's clear that he wants to be the greatest. You know, when he's saying, I want to play so many years, like I'm saying, I want to play as long as I can. He wants to be the greatest. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, those are the people that we throw around. He wants to be there.
Here's the part nobody likes to say out loud. That Eastern Conference during those 8 years wasn't just weaker than the West. It was broken. Historically weak. The kind of weak that looks almost unreal when you line it up side by side. In multiple seasons, the second-best team in the East wouldn't have survived a single playoff round in the West. Some of them wouldn't have even sniffed the postseason if they were playing out there. That's not hate, that's math. Across that entire stretch, only a handful of East teams even touched 55 wins, while the West was stacked year after year with 55-plus win monsters. Real contenders were getting sent home in round 1 before anyone could blink. That's the gap people pretend doesn't exist. Now zoom in on the Miami years from 2011 to 2014, because that's where this becomes impossible to ignore. Who was LeBron actually fighting on the way to the finals? Boston was aging in real time, breaking down piece by piece. Indiana was tough, disciplined, respectable, but they weren't surviving a 7-game war against elite Western teams. Not even close. Meanwhile, look at what was happening out west. San Antonio was still running a full-blown dynasty. OKC had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook at peak athletic chaos. The Clippers were flying with Lob City. Golden State was being built into a future monster. Houston had James Harden. Memphis was turning every game into a fistfight. Every single series in the West felt like a championship test. Elite teams were eliminating each other long before the finals were even visible. Think about that reality. In the West, San Antonio would outlast Oklahoma City in 7. Then Golden State would take down San Antonio in 6. These were teams that would have marched through the East without breaking a sweat. And that's why Vince Carter's words land different. He's not a studio voice yelling for attention. He lived in both worlds. He felt the difference in his legs, in his lungs, in his recovery time. When Carter moved from east to west, it felt like stepping into an entirely different sport. Intensity wasn't optional. It was constant. Road trips weren't challenges, they were punishment. One night in San Antonio, then Portland, then Los Angeles, then Phoenix, each stop waiting to test whether you were real or not. Now compare that to Eastern Conference trips during LeBron's run. Miami or Cleveland, then Indiana or Atlanta. Solid teams, yes, but not title threats. The physicality told the truth. Memphis would make every basket hurt. San Antonio would carve you up with precision. OKC would overwhelm you with raw force. Out east, teams weren't built to win championships. They were built to survive LeBron's super teams and hope not to get embarrassed. Carter said it plainly, the West was where championships were actually decided. Most finals felt like formalities because everyone already knew the best team was coming out of the West. And once you factor in LeBron's supporting casts, the narrative gets even more uncomfortable. In 2011, he didn't just walk into a good situation, he created one. Miami wasn't organic growth, it was a designed superpower. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, all-stars in their prime. That wasn't chemistry forming naturally, that was construction. And in the East, it worked perfectly. Nobody had the firepower to slow it down. Boston was aging out. Chicago had Derrick Rose until injuries stole the window. Everyone else was just trying to steal a game and escape with dignity. When LeBron went back to Cleveland, the blueprint stayed the same. Kevin Love arrives. Kyrie Irving blossoms into a co-star. Suddenly, it's 3 all-stars versus a conference where most teams were lucky to have one. Meanwhile, out west, teams weren't stacking names, they were building systems. San Antonio developed culture. Golden State drafted and evolved. OKC grew together. Those teams fought through real resistance every night. Carter didn't sugarcoat it. LeBron stacked the deck in a weak conference. That's not dominance, that's strategy. And yes, it worked. But let's stop pretending it was the same grind the West endured. This is where LeBron fans get uncomfortable. What if his prime happened in the Western Conference instead? Would there still be 8 straight finals? 10 total appearances? Vince Carter doesn't think so, and once you break down the matchups, it's hard to laugh it off. Picture Miami from 2011 to 2014 opening the playoffs against Memphis. That's a full contact war just to survive round 1. No warm-ups. Make it past that, and now it's San Antonio's system or OKC's athletic storm. Survive that, and you're staring at Golden State or peak Lob City in the conference finals. That's a nightmare path. Now compare it to first rounds against Charlotte, Milwaukee before Giannis, or Bulls teams without Derrick Rose. Conference finals against Atlanta or Toronto teams nobody truly feared. The contrast is loud. And when LeBron finally moved west with the Lakers, reality hit immediately. Year 1, no playoffs. 8 straight finals in the East, then 0 in year 1 out west. The competition level exposed the difference fast. The reaction to Carter's comments was exactly what you'd expect. Chaos, anger, deflection. The go-to response was simple. Vince is just mad he never won a ring. And just like that, the point got dodged. What nobody saw coming was how many people quietly started agreeing with him. Former players, longtime analysts, subtle nods, careful wording, silent support. The basketball world split clean in 2. Younger fans raised on LeBron's dominance couldn't process the idea that context matters. Older fans who watched Jordan fight through stacked conferences, who watched Kobe survive the Western Gauntlet year after year, were nodding along. One anonymous veteran put it perfectly when he said, "It's crazy, we can't even talk about this without people losing their minds." Vince just said what a lot of people have been thinking for years. And that brings us to the real question nobody wants to answer. Does this change how we view LeBron's legacy? Because if Carter's right, then everything needs context. 10 finals sounds untouchable when you say it fast. And in one sense, it's still historic. But 8 of those came through a conference that couldn't seriously compete with the West. Jordan's road was brutal. Bad boy Pistons. Physical Knicks. Reggie Miller's Pacers. Kobe's path was survival in a loaded West every single year. If you made out, you were proven. LeBron's run from 2011 to 2018? Some years he faced one true contender. Some years none at all. Fans were predicting finals matchups before the playoffs even started. That's why Carter blew this wide open. When asked if he regretted it, he didn't hesitate. Why regret telling the truth about what we all watched? He doubled down. The East was weak. That's not opinion. That's observable reality. LeBron is an all-time great. That's not up for debate. But if we're talking about the absolute greatest, every detail matters. Including the path. Including the conference. Including who you avoided and when. So here's the question that won't go away. Does dominance still mean the same thing when the road was historically easier? Should greatness be judged only by results or by the difficulty it took to achieve them? Drop your take in the comments because this debate isn't dying anytime soon. And if you want NBA talk that doesn't play it safe, hit like, subscribe, and share. We're not here for comfort. We're here for the truth.